Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And Nottingham Forest carry on winning. I so hope that they just keep this up. You can see there's a little bit of a sort of I don't know, legs running out wouldn't be the right word. It's not a little bit about that. It's I don't know. I just want Nottingham Forest to end up in the top four, if not higher, this season. So we're going to watch this first goal, and it's quite interesting because all the goals seem to be in the similar sort of vein, right? So it's a simple up, back, and then through. That's all they're looking to do here. Very simple from a throw-in. Southampton just look kind of exposed. Look at the gap here from the. I know you're trying to pressure the throw-in corner. But you can't leave that gap there because someone is just going to end up exploiting it, and exploiting it they do. Nico Williams with the throw in, and off they go, boom, running into that space. Now, there's also Chris Woodinho comes running in here, pulling in the defender. That actually helps so much here. And then I'm going to show you what both players up front end up doing, because they make a channel for the shot to go through, which is really, really interesting. He starts running forward. Of course, now there's no one to challenge him because of the way Southampton is set up. Southampton might finish with the lowest point score ever in the Premier League. And they've only got themselves to blame, really. They really do. Playing in the system against players that are just better than you, you can't afford to do it. You're just going to get ripped apart, and they have week in, week out. You can't, it's just awful. So as they start moving forward here, watch this, bump, bump, bump. Do we see that little spin run? He came in, pulled him with him, and now he's running in, and so is Zalanga. They're both going to make this little channel, and that's where the shot's going to come from. Yeah, it's quite interesting, but you don't really see the two players. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but I'm going to say that they are. They're actually parting the ways for the shot to go straight through the middle between both of them, and that's what ends up happening just here. As a little touch, and look how far he gets to run with the ball. And because of the way that they're set up, there is no one able to go in front of him and slow down his run. It's awful. They're inviting him to go and kick it into the net box. And that's what he does, as a little bit of a touch, and then just smashes it into the bottom corner. Really well taken goal. Really good goal. Let's move it on to the next one. Okay, so Southampton are going to get caught out here at the back. And it comes down to absolutely, completely and utterly poor technique. Okay, so what bad coaches and bad pundits and everyone's going to do is analyse this guy here and why he miscontrols the ball and it bounces off him. Doesn't start there. It starts here with these two passes. Watch how he passes the ball here, right? Watch this. Do we see when he knocks it back? It's slightly in the air. That's huge. That means he hasn't hit the ball properly. He hasn't hit it cleanly. The pass into him was perfectly on the ground. The pass now here isn't. So what ends up happening is he has to take a touch because it's in the air, because it's not a clean pass. And that little tiny detail is the difference in the Premier League. All right. If you want to actually understand football properly, that there is the reason that this happens. Because when he has the ball now and it comes to it, he has to do that, take a touch, and can you see it's still bouncing and bobbling? That's not clean passing. That isn't crisp clean on the floor. So that's the problem here. So now when he goes to knock the ball, there's a little bit too much pace on it. So if you don't have the mindfulness of actually passing the ball properly and not having that little skip bounce or whatever, it's just bump, that means you're not going to miss-hit it. That means you're not going to have the right pace on it. And that means you hit the ball too hard at this guy here. So now when it hits him, it bounces off him and everything else breaks down. But you can see it from the other two passes that the whole team is pretty much, okay, it doesn't really matter how we pass the ball, we just knock it about. And his touch there is shocking. I mean, absolutely shocking. Is that a bit of the problem? Yeah, but it's not the whole thing. We'd probably give him, I'd say 70% of the blame, where the other can split up between these two from doing absolutely moronic passing, and then he just gets the end of it. If you've ever done this in training before, when you're trying to stitch up the new guy, what you do is you're fizzing the passes around to everybody else, and then you just give him a bad pass. It looks like his touch is bad, but it's not. It's because you bobbled the pass into him, and it bounces up into him, and he looks like he's terrible. Similar situations happened here, but you know what? Still criminal that you're trying to play it out of the back when you've got four players pressing you up this high, and you've got players out wide where you can easily go to safety instead of playing it to your centre back here. He's in all sorts of trouble. Now, what I do like with this goal is Callum Hudson-Odoi goes, oh, you know what? I saw me mate. He just smashed it into the same little bottom corner. I'm better than him. I'm going to do the exact same thing, and that's what he does. After he picks the balls up, skips the challenge, runs straight at the goal, and of course, because the way Southampton is set up, there's nobody here to press or challenge the ball, and just knocks it in the same side, same corner as the last goal. Go, have that. Look how good I am, boys. Let's carry on. Now Southampton do have players in the middle trying to slow the ball down. Here comes Wadinho. Chris is knocking the ball out wide here to Alanga, who's looking. But this is proper forward play. You don't see many other strikers in the Premier League anymore actually doing proper forward play. Holds the ball up. Oh, look at that. I think I'm going to zoom in. Holds the ball up, knocks the ball, spins, makes a run in, and looks for the ball back. Okay, that's all he's looking to do. Ball goes out wide. Perfect. In he goes, running into the box. Look at the gap. You can see it there. That's the gap that's going to be exploited. But this is why holding your shape is so important, by the way, because if 1, 2 have gone, 3 should be there, and there's 4. That is how important holding your shape is, because if you do that, when the ball comes in, someone's already in these zones. There's no one there. Absolutely no one there. Yeah, they can track the run, which they don't, but that's how simple it is. If you're in your shape, when this ball comes in, it's easy to defend. They're not. So in comes the ball. It's actually a really decently whipped in ball. It's done quite nicely straight to his head, and he puts it exactly the same place where his other 2 teammates scored a second ago. Now you're going to go, yeah, but Cash, look, someone's back. Yeah, but there's a difference. He's run back, and now he's at that point. Instead of being there when the ball is delivered so he can identify it and come forward, he's actually having to stop as the ball's kicked and then change his direction. He should be waiting there patiently for the cross to come in and then attack it. And that's the difference when you're doing these sort of free frame things, and I can't just play it, and we all know why I can't just do that. You can see just to identify it as we're going. Right, so as that comes in, Bob, in he goes, same corner. I think the keeper might want to have a little training session on that little corner, because there seems to be a bit of an issue there that they might have exposed today. But Wadinho gets on the score sheet and puts the tricky trees ever closest to finish first or second this year. I really hope they finish second or first this year. I really do. So let's go on to the Southampton goals. To be honest, this is a bit of a lucky goal. I'm also going to put a little clip in at the end, because I actually commented on this on my last Nottingham Forest video about, I think it was Alanga again, on the post. And someone wrote a nice comment. It wasn't on the post. Yeah, I know, look. He was running back on there and defending and actually doing it properly. Guess what? He does the exact same thing again and saves another goal off the line again. That's 2. Okay. But this is just a lucky hit and hope. That's all this is. He's hit the ball. He's taken a deflection. Keeper's got no chance. What really concerns me, though, is Forest are actually a very solid defensive team. So when this ball's in, you can see, look how many numbers you can see. If you can see the numbers, they're running the wrong way. That means something's wrong, right? As soon as that second ball's coming out here, boom. Do you see, because they've run back, they're not in a situation to press through the ball, and it's not like them. That leaving that little gap there isn't generally what they do. So I was watching them, I think it was against Liverpool, and there's no way that was going to happen. Like they weren't giving the Liverpool balls like this on the edge of the box. Wasn't going to happen. They ended up getting a little bit unlucky with deflection over the goalkeeper. Not much you can really do about that. Some of those goals happen, but what you can do is win that second ball and not have everybody dropping off and dropping deep, so you can stop the shot coming in the first place. Okay, so this is the area of attack we want to look at right here, but I also want you to watch this here, because I'm going to address this in the next clip in a second. Doing a good job, holding their shape. See, this is also unlike Forest, conceding on corners, because they're decent on set pieces as well. So I'd say, like, a couple of little characteristics, and this is why I was saying I hope they can hold it together, because this is uncharacteristic. Yeah, you know the word I mean, from the team. And all of a sudden, when you've been on such a good run and you're doing so well, little things that you've been good at start drifting away, and you don't want to become that team. You know, you're this team, and you've got to stick to these. You've got to make sure next week you don't concede on corners, and you don't concede any little second balls outside the 18-yard box. You keep that pressure on, because you can't slip back, because you're going forward, and that's where you are. Your identity is winning those little second balls, winning all these crosses. So we'll see next week. But when this comes in, it's just a case of big, tall, strong man gets to the ball first, tracking the runner. They didn't do a good enough job. Funny, he scores in the same corner, in the same net, in the same side as everybody else. It's a little bit higher, but yeah. All right, let's just look at this little block I want to show you. So similar corner. Here comes the big man. He's going for the front post run again. This time Forest have actually blocked his run off. It's going towards the keeper. That's what we're looking for. But look at the man on the back post again, doing the right thing. When someone does something right, you've got to give them credit where credit's due. And that's why we're talking about it. Look, header comes out. Boom. There he is. Ball's off the line. saving yourself 2 points just because he's defending properly and standing there in his zone. He's done it now. That's 2 weeks in a row. Let's see if he does it for a third, because I'm telling you that, like I was all last year, I kept saying the amount of goals you will save if you just have someone floating around that back post. If the keeper's on the front, if the keeper's on the back post, you on the front, is amazing in the Premier League. Simple things, save you goals. Well done, young man. Well done. Other than that, we'll catch you next time on Cash Talks Football.